Hi everyone, I'm Airier, and today we're going to look at Super Eyepatch Wolf's buying a PC with Dell, my journey into hell. Now, I had the brilliant idea of building my own PC, and decided to watch this video as a way to psych myself up. And then I remembered what the last video of his I watched was like, and what it did to my mental state. Garfield, man. It was Garfield. What the hell? But I'm here. We're doing it. Because I must be a masochist. That's the only explanation I can think of. And maybe if this is bad enough, I will feel better about building the PC and the inevitable montage of me plugging things into the wrong slot that shouldn't have fit, but somehow I managed to jam them in, break everything, and somehow set it on fire. Oh, I hope that's a joke, but I'm fearing it's not. So we're going to just jump right in before I think better of this and run away screaming. Like usual. So you guys know the deal. There's a link below, original video. Hit it up. And let's get started.
It began 6 months ago.
But, Chapter 1. Descent.
Earlier this year, I decided to buy a new PC after my old one began to struggle with some heavier editing.
Okay, 1. I didn't even know they made little pixelated figures of Tifa and Cloud in that style. Neat.
Projects. I decided to go with Dell because A, I've been with them my whole life, and B, I've never had any problems with them. I understand that this was a bad decision. That information
isn't Dell known to be really bad?
I don't know a great deal about PCs, and a lot of this could have been avoided if I had just slightly more knowledge. And so I am partially...
Wait, what was that graphics card? A P1000? I don't even recognize that one. Now, I mean, a lot of my knowledge of graphic card is just because of looking around now, but I don't even know that one. Now, when I've looked at historical lists just to see what some of the cheaper options were before I realized I should probably avoid those, I don't even remember seeing this, unless it was under a different name. And it can't be that old, because while the board itself is still exposed and that's fallen out of vogue, you could still see the siding on there that they put in as a display function. Unless that's just a covering for a heat spreader? I have no idea what that is. It actually is kind of curious. And, oh wow, it's blue on the inside. Must have been pre-made. And uncovered, yeah, this is definitely a pre-made because the RAM is uncovered as well. And usually they like to up the visibility of it by doing other things to it.
So I am partially, well, mostly to blame for the nightmare that follows. I spent the day researching different parts, looking up what kind of GPUs would work best with Premiere, went with 64 gigs of RAM and a top-of-the-line Intel XPS processor.
Oh, not bad.
It was more money than I'd ever spent on a PC, but if it made life easier, I'd consider it a good...
How old is this video? That's a year ago. So if he's going top-of-the-line Intel, that's probably, what, a 1200? I'm not sure which exact model that would be. 1200K maybe? Unless it's top of the line for Dell and it's not actually that good. Maybe he just scammed flat out. I actually don't know.
Investments. 1 week later, the machine arrives.
Oh, those cases?
Heavy and has a metal handle.
I never got those.
Handle. That's serious.
I mean, to be fair, I like the handle just because it helps if you're in an office setting and the thing dies again. You can just move it quickly. I'm not speaking from experience there. But for the love of God, why do people keep putting office PCs on the floor next to your foot? And you have to turn to hit. It's like, oh, I just kicked it again. I'm repressing rage, apparently. Huh, who'd have thought?
I am very excited. I boot up the PC and immediately notice something. Whereas my 5-year-old machine could boot in about 10 seconds,
damn,
this one is taking closer to 2 minutes.
Oh, did they not even put an SSD in there, or is it broken? Did they have him on a boot hard drive? No, not a boot SSD, not anything like that, but a flat out, maybe like not even M.2, but regular SSD? No, that would still be faster. Oh god, they have it on a boot hard drive, or it's just broken. It could also just be broken.
Odd. Problem the second. When setup begins, the PC cannot detect the wireless mouse or keyboard it came with.
Oh, it came with the wireless mouse and keyboard? I mean, wireless mice are kind of fine if they have the dongle you plug directly in. I have yet to find a wireless keyboard that I cannot just repress the rage to destroy. I know exactly what I said. I hate so many of the available wireless keyboards. There's so much shit. I know there's nice ones, but you have to add a zero to any price, and it's just not worth it, man. Also, Shin Emperor John. He's having fun with this.
Odd. I spent about an hour trying different configurations to make the keyboard and mouse connect, but it's getting late.
Oh, is that one of those bendy mice?
So I just hook up my old wired keyboard and mouse.
Wait, is he propping them up with a rock? Now, I'm not a big fan of ergonomics, but I mean, frankly, if it works, good for you.
Wired keyboard and mouse. Step 2, connect my new PC to the internet. Only, it cannot detect my Wi-Fi.
It doesn't have a Wi-Fi card either?
8 times, having to repeat the same setup each time.
I mean, I'm explicitly building a PC that will not have a Wi-Fi card because I do not care. If it's a laptop, that is a deal breaker not to have one, but I mean, if it's a PC, I'm going to put a hardwired cable in. And yeah, I'm going to do that by taping the cable to the ceiling in the hallway to bring it down. And I have pictures of that. They're embarrassing. I had family start laughing at me when they saw that. But it worked, goddammit.
I refresh my browser, I adjust my router settings. Nothing works. I stand back and stare at my new machine. It has no DVD Blu-ray drive, so without internet, it's just a giant piece of plastic that cost me thousands of euro. Somewhere deep inside me,
he got ripped off, didn't he?
I feel a subtle, unsure emptiness open up, and through it, a small stream of anxiety begins.
I'm actually kind of curious what his part list is right now, because I want to know just how badly he got ripped off here. I could probably look in the description. In fact, I think I will. Does he actually have his part list here? No, he doesn't. Oh, he had an entire Twitter thread about this? Oh, jeez. Oh, so this was literally a Twitter rage out moment he made a video about. Oh, that actually makes it even better.
It's to seep through. I go to bed. I can figure this out in the morning.
Cool blanket.
The next morning, I brew some coffee and turn back on my machine.
Wait, whoa. Was he mixing the grounds directly with it? Huh! So do you put the filter on top, or do these just dissolve completely? Also, goddamn, I love that mug. And I know it's actually the craft he's using, but frankly, I would take it as a mug if there's a decent filtering system. I would sip out of that shit, and I would love it. That is amazing, and I need to find this.
This morning, I brew some coffee and turn back on my machine. Another 2-minute boot up. Very, very odd. I spend the next hour digging through internet forums on my laptop, hunched beside my new machine. After going down several rabbit holes that lead nowhere, I finally get a solid lead. The problem could be with my PCIe Wi-Fi card.
Okay, that wouldn't be so bad because, I mean, frankly, I don't care about the internal Wi-Fi cards. The dongles are like $100, but they are so much better. And frankly, they'll knock off a huge portion of the price. And by $100, I mean, I got one that was obscenely good before realizing I didn't care. I'm keeping it because eventually it'll be useful, and it was so expensive I can't justify doing anything with it because I got rid of the receipt and I can't return it. Yeah, I know, it was a stupid decision. But I mean, I already said that out loud. Shit. Future me, cut that out so I can have plausible deniability. Thank you.
If it's malfunctioning, that would explain why I cannot connect to the internet or hook up my wireless devices. I go to systems information and there is no PCIe Wi-Fi card.
Okay, so he just doesn't have one.
It is not there. Dell did not insert one into the machine. In the year of our Lord 2021.
Oh, this was the new card? Oh, wait, a Quadro? Oh! Was this one of the really high-end graphic cards? Because I think the Quadro line was... I think that's NVIDIA specifically creator-oriented one that's really damn expensive. Although that's the new ones I've seen, like the 4000 Quadros. I'm not sure. It's a P1000. This might be a 1000 Quadro? I don't know much about this line because they are so expensive now that I never bothered to backdate them to see what they are anything about.
There was shipped a state-of-the-art PC without functionality to connect to the internet.
Does it have a
I feel that little hole
Ether
inside
port?
me open wider, but now it's not just anxiety that's flowing out, but shame. What kind of idiot orders a PC without internet functionality?
I mean,
At
I
the
did it
time,
intentionally,
I
but
did not know what a PCIe card was, nor that it would be an opt-in scenario. I sit for several minutes, feeling very, very stupid. I start to feel out of control of the situation and begin to get a little upset. This was not meant to be this complicated. This was meant to make life easier. But I decide I am being silly. Surely there's a way to fix this.
Yeah.
In order to calm myself, I go for a run through a local park. On my journey, I see a deer standing there alone.
Okay, can we just back up a second and say, hot damn! That is a very beautiful park.
I go for a run through a local park. On my journey, I see a deer standing there alone, staring at me.
You can tell they're used to people.
Something about this bothers me. I read up about PCIe Wi-Fi cards and order one from Amazon for €20.
Oh no, he bought the card instead? Oh. I mean, maybe it's the price. It's probably the price. It's not that bad, but he didn't look up what kind of bandwidth, did he? So this could be, and it's for 20 years. Oh, he got a shit one, didn't he?
Problem solved? No. The card arrives a few days later, but it's getting around 10% of the bandwidth my old PC was, as well as other devices in the same room. I open up my machine and remove it, but I'm starting to notice something else. This PC is slow. Like, really, really slow. Slower than my machine I bought 5 years ago. I render an episode of my podcast on it, and it takes nearly 4 times as long.
So he's encoding an entire episode in 1 hour and 38 minutes. I mean, for my current PC, that would be pretty bad. But for my previous one that I bought roughly the same time, that would be lucky. I changed up PCs because my average time on a video, it was 1 hour long. It would be 4 to 5 hours to process. So I'm looking at this going, this is your downside? I mean, that's still way too long, and you're doing this professionally, so that's not acceptable. But there are worse options. I wonder why, though. Is it a bottleneck of the CPU, or is that Quadro you're using just broken?
And I panic, but
possible.
How? This is a state-of-the-art machine. This is a render beast.
From when?
What is happening? A new emotion floods my body. Fear. Raw.
You have the receipt and 30 days to return it?
Fear that I have entered a world I do not understand, and there I now face problems complicated and frightening, ones beyond my ability to solve, all with the weight that this machine cost me a lot of money.
Also, it just occurred to me that this is 2 years ago when the dollar was, I think, trending lower than the pound, more than it is now, which is still lower, but I think they're closer. So that 2000... Actually, I'm just going to pull that up because I'm very, very morbidly curious. So I'm just going to type this in off screen quickly. That is 2,000, I think that's 358 and 45 euro cents to... Okay, admittedly, that's not as bad as I thought it would be. It's just 25,200... So, $2,527.62. That's still a lot. I wish there was a time frame on this that I could really check out. I think there was a time period recently, within the last few years, where the difference was much more significant. It could have been well over 3,000 at the point he got this. Which, admittedly, would be horrible. Although maybe I'm thinking of the British pound, because technically they're not the same thing. That's entirely possible as well.
Cost me a lot of money.
Yes!
So, I decide to call Dell customer service.
Oh no.
And the real nightmare begins.
I've seen enough Linus videos about customer service to realize they're going to be bad. The good ones are standouts. Oh no.
At this point, I want to take a second and acknowledge that all the individual representatives I spoke to were polite, kind, and patient with me.
And already I realized for him saying that, he had a surprisingly good experience. How much worse does it get for the part that's usually the absolute worst? To have the clarification that it's good. Because normally, you wouldn't.
Despite my
Maybe I've just had bad
deteriorating
experiences.
mental state, none of this is their fault. Rather, they are just individuals doing their best in a monolithic system so cold, so unwieldy, and so colossal, it now fills me with what I can only liken to a kind of cosmic horror. But I do
Really,
not
I would
know
go
that
rage
yet.
myself, but that's different.
I think I'm about to solve the problem. Oh, John, you poor deluded fool. After hitting my keypad
I just
several
keep thinking
times
Garfield's
to
saying that every
navigate
time he
my
does
way to
that.
an agent, I find myself on hold, and a 30-second loop of distorted, crackled lounge music begins to play.
The more I hear this, the more I don't want to. Please stop. Just... Why? Why are you doing this? Is he just torturing us? Oh, that's the entire point. He's spreading the
After 40
pain.
minutes, I think that this is what elevators in hell must sound like. Sometime later,
50
I am
minutes.
connected to an agent. He tells me we are going to run several diagnostic checks on my computer. This process takes several hours. Him remotely controlling my machine. He sees my Guilty Gear wallpaper. We talk about Guilty Gear. He is very pleasant. Finally, we get the results, and it's the worst.
I'll be honest, right there, that would have killed me because talking to people scares the shit out of me. Having to talk to someone for hours on the phone is literally my nightmare. Yeah, if you want to scare me, just say hi. That will be enough to give me a panic attack. I'm very easily scared.
Thing imaginable. Nothing.
Oh, so
is
it's just a
wrong.
bad computer?
I insist there has to be something. This is not normal, and after a combination of righteous indignation and outright begging, he speaks to his superior, and they agree to send a repairman to replace the one thing.
How much is a
it
repairman
could
going to
be.
cost you?
My motherboard. The motherboard is the part of your PC that all the individual elements connect to.
I'm sorry. They think something's wrong with the motherboard to check it. And they're sending someone to check it rather than just sending the PC back. Because at that point, you might as well just build your own at that point. And then just... It's so annoying to get to that because you have to take everything out. And if you don't know how to put it all back together, you might as well just send it back to the shop and get a brand new one or replace it flat out. Why are they sending someone? Because they think it's probably on him and this is an easy way for him to be told to pay for a repairman.
If it is malfunctioning, it could explain my slow speeds. The next day, I unplug my new PC at my desk and reconnect my old PC. It is a moment of profound melancholy. I put my new PC on the bed behind my desk, and there it sits, massive and useless. Please let the new motherboard fix things. Please let this end.
That looks like a server
I
rack.
just want to make videos on my new PC.
You know, I just realized it probably is meant to be a server rack because they have some of the words actually set up in that orientation. So it's definitely something they considered. I wonder if they repurposed it as a server rack or it was intentionally that way.
I just need things to get a little easier. Several days pass. Dell tell me I will get a call when the repairman is coming, but that I won't know the specific date or time. This
They won't even give you
does
a
not
date?
happen. Instead, I get an email at the end of the week saying that no one was home when the delivery man called. I find this suspect. Ireland is in national lockdown, and both me and my partner are home 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. I know this because I was there. Frustrated and growing exhausted with the situation, I emailed
And the
Dell
guy
back
flipped
asking
on
them
them.
to send someone again. I wait, but instead, the paragraph directly above this one plays out 2 more times. To help you experience this frustration, I am now going
I'm sorry. Twice. Twice more. This is a very patient man. I would not have stood for this. Mostly because I'm lazy and would have sat down a long time ago and just gone, what the fuck is wrong with you? To him or to them, let's take your pick. Mostly them, actually. Almost completely them at this point. I just return this. It sounds like a piece of shit.
to play that section 2 more times.
RMA that shit?
Several days pass. Dell tell me I will get a call when the repairman is coming, but that
Okay, that's a nice effect. He's put it into the old-timey like sound filter, and he put everything into black and white to give it a new aspect, even though it's the same picture as before. But it feels brand new because of that. Nice. Nice. I have to remember this editing technique.
I won't know the specific date or time. This does not happen. Instead, I get an email at the end of the week saying that no one was home when the delivery man called. I find this suspect.
Several days pass. Dell tells me
Distorting the audio a little more to show every time, yeah.
But that I won't know the specific date or time. This does not happen. Instead,
how many times is he going to play this through?
End of the week, saying that no one was home when the delivery man called. I find this suspect.
Finally, a repairman arrives. I feel weird that there is someone new in my apartment for the first time in months. I talk to him about psychics and conspiracy theories. He is very nice. After an hour, he leaves.
To be completely fair, if I walked into someone's house and they started talking about conspiracy theories and psychics, I would not so much be nice as looking to make absolutely no sudden moves and then running the fuck... It choked my tongue, wow. Running the fuck away. Also, I have no idea who that was. I think it might have been him for all I know. I actually don't think I've seen his face much more outside of a Garfield costume, and wow, that is a really weird sentence. I'm sure that'll never be taken out of context. But what the hell, man?
And I stare at my new machine. All the fondness I felt for it is now gone. It now fills me with a subtle sense of dread, but maybe not for much longer. I turn it on. 2-minute boot time. No. Takes an hour and a half to render a podcast. No. I lie on my floor for several minutes, listening to this song. This is something I do when I am upset.
I don't even know what this song is, but I know End of Evangelion.